Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director today. We're having a wine while we get ready. So what are we doing today? Well, today it's a bit of a controversial brand. It is a super savvy brand. I'm not going to make any comments on the ethics behind this brand because it's up to you to make your own opinion. It's Sheglam. What I will say, one, I've not had any problem with the brand. Two, I haven't purchased anything from the brand in a long time. So before we get to that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Right, so I purchased a heap of Sheglam products to try a long time ago, way before I started this channel. I've literally just had to go through and see if some of the things are still available, because I went online and looked and there was a lot that wasn't. There is issues, we know there is issues behind fast fashion. However, we are not here to judge somebody that is on a budget that does what is right for them. It is all good and well to say don't buy. However, if that is what works for somebody and that is what they can afford and their price point, then we can't judge. We can't judge somebody else until we walk a mile in their shoes, is the old saying. I've got a pimple that I've just been naughty and popped on there, so don't mind me while I budget it. Anyway, so I've got nearly, not quite a full face. I've just put some hydrating primer on that's given me a bit of stick, and I might put a glowy primer on as well. But I have I've got 4 different eyeshadow palettes here that I know are still available. I've got 4 different foundations. I've got bronzer, cream and powder products, mascara, lips. So let's start. I'm using the products that I don't have. I'm using cheaper brands to try and keep it sort of in that budget friendly range. So I had on the NYX Plump It Right Back because it's late in the day and I hadn't freshly moisturized, and I've just put on the Revolution Bright Light Primer. I'm very sticky. Let me just put my glasses back on because I want to have a discussion about some of these. I'm going to start with foundation. Well, we're going to start with a drink. Foundation. I have 4 from Sheglam. What I will say about their foundations is they're bloody fantastic, to put it quite simple. They all come, I've got 2 liquid. This one's probably, what I will say, I don't know if you can see, these 2, like you can buy samples to try that are super cheap little sachets, and I recommend it because these 2 are the same shade. So they're both the shade Nude, and you can see there is a massive, this is quite light and neutral. This is really warm. So I bought a heap of the sachets for like, they're under $1 to try to, when I first purchased, which was this one, and then clearly this is not the same shade. I didn't buy it with that. So I have the Complexion Pro, which is a long-lasting breathable matte foundation. This is fantastic. It is full coverage. It is up there with NARS, let me tell you. And in fact, I'm going to do a dupe video and compare that to the NARS Soft Matte. The Skinfinite is a hydrating foundation. That is exactly as it says. It's a hydrating long wear foundation. Then I have the, all in the shade Nude, I think. Yep. Then I have the Full Coverage Foundation Balm. If you like a balm foundation, do I like this? Obviously we know I've got a lot of foundations, and there's only a few that I'm getting close towards the bottom. I've panned that. I went away for a week and that was the only foundation I took with me. And then I have a the Skin Focus High Coverage Powder Foundation. So this comes with its own puff. I'm going to use this instead of powder today, in fact, because I don't have a setting powder. These two, like I said, are really, really good. They are comparable with NARS. They are right up there. I make no bones about it. But I want to go in with the Balm Foundation today. Clearly, I love it. It is probably one of my favourite products. I make no bones about it. Going in, just damp beauty blender, smudge it around. Just fix up my mirror. Okay, so stamping that in, and it is, as it says, it's a full coverage balm. And I've taken this away multiple times with me because it's just such an easy product to work with. It really, really is. I don't have a Sheglam concealer, and I'm not going to use a concealer. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. I've picked it myself today. I will take this, while I've avoided underneath my eye just now, I will take this up and under there in a minute. And the other thing I really like about this is it's quick, like while I'm dabbing in, but it's really quick and super blendable, like blends super easily. So just going in up around the eye area. Just bear in mind, you don't always need to wear concealer. Like you actually don't. If you're not particularly wanting to brighten underneath your eye, which, oh gosh, which is, you know, it's a trend. It's not a necessity. It is what is fashionable at the moment, as is, you know, we go between thick, we go between thin brows. It's what is fashionable at the moment is to wear that, to wear concealer. If you are my age, you'll remember the time we just used to wear concealer just to cover our spots, to conceal our spots as opposed to brighten. So you can see that is full coverage. It's this container that it comes in is plastic, but it comes in a little velvet pouch. It's really good for travel. You don't have to worry about it breaking. Yeah, just take that in your sponge and you are good to go. So I have just fanned that down a little bit. So while it's not a liquid, like a fluid, it's a balm. So it's still damp. So I've just fanned that down a little bit. As I said, I don't have a setting powder, so I'm going to go in with this. I'm going to use it exactly the way that I would a setting powder. It comes with its own little sponge. This is a really good way to show you, just as an example, that using powder products does not mean that you're going to be absolutely matte flat. Because this, I know from previous experience, that once I re-add moisture with a setting spray, it gives a beautiful finish. So going in gently, because it's been a long time since I've used this. So it's a foundation, so it's got colour to it. So you'll see I get even more coverage. So I've got a full coverage balm on, and I'm putting a full coverage powder foundation over the top of that. So, and I'm pressing it because it has got colour. And what I'll do is I'll fluff that out with a brush at the moment, because you can see it's gripping and it's changing the colour of my skin. So we'll just probably speed up while I'm doing this. Right, so now that I've gone in, it's gripped in certain patches, right? So I'm going to go in now with a brush and go back over that. So it sounds like a lot of powder, yeah? But as I said, I don't have a setting powder. And this way you're going to see two products that are one product really, two foundations. Now, I'm just now swirling gently over the top of that to lift up anything that is sitting there similar to if I was baking. And what that has done, because I have got a full coverage balm on and now essentially a full coverage powder on, that feels thick. And I don't know if this is picking up here, my pores are really showing. So whilst I don't have a setting spray from SHEIN, I am going to use a setting spray. I'm down to the end of this one, the Makeup Revolution All Day IRL Mattifying Setting Fixing Spray. This is going to melt everything in. And yes, you use a lot. One, can you see how wet I am? What this does, two things. One, it puts moisture back in. It's not going to turn your products to paste. It's going to melt the products into your skin and it's going to help with longevity. I'm just going to fan it down now till it's dry. So we're back and the skin is skinning. So like I said, full coverage balm foundation and a full coverage powder foundation over the top of that. And we're glowing. I'm a bit damp here to be honest. So now we're going to go in. So one of the viral products that Sheglam have are their, I don't know what to call them. They've got contour bronzers, blushes and highlighters in these little spongy applicators. Do I like them? Clearly I do, because I've bought multiple ones. So this is a contour that I've bought. I don't have a bronzer in it, but this is a contour. It's grey base. Look at that. Better put that in. I don't know how liquid it is. It's grey based. And I'm going to do a video on contouring and bronzing at some stage. But that's not a bronzer. Look at the grey in that. That is to create shadows in our face. So, I'm going to go in. I'm going to do a bit of the old trick where I just contour in a few spots. So, first up, we'll snatch the jawline a bit. Now they have a whole heap of different shades in these ranges of both, of all the liquidy products, of the contours, the bronzers, blush and highlighter. But I've got to move fast because I think this is drying down and I forgot about that factor with this. So let's just get to this and not talk too much while I fix this before it dries. Okay, so now that I've started working on that, I can actually spend a little bit more time. So you can see how it's grey there. That's to create shadow. We can go with a bit more defined shape, and I probably would have done, had I have done a section at a time to give myself time to blend it before it dried down. I was more concerned about just moving that around. But you can see we've created some shadow. Going a bit more there. Probably put too much on there right now. wanting to show how this works. Just bringing that up. So we've got cheekbones happening now. They also have, I've got 3 of their blushes. I'm going to have to put on my glasses to read them. Okay, so I have 3 shades. One is Risky Business. I think that was the very first shade that I got. Love Cake and Float On. I don't know if any of these are a luminous one or not. So we have, this one here is Risky Business, which is a rosy sort of colour. Then we're into a more pink with Love Cake, and then Float On is this sort of mango-y colour. So 3 standard shades that are about the range that I probably like. Now, knowing what I'm going to do after, I'm going to go in with the original of Risky Business. Now, these have been compared to Rare Beauty. They are a good alternative, but they're not as intensely pigmented as it. They're a lot cheaper, but as you can see, the dots that I've put on are a decent size. Rare Beauty, I would have only needed one that was about 1/8 the size, one dot about 1/8 the size of that. Whereas this, they are nowhere near as pigmented, and that can be a bit off-putting for a lot of people with Rare Beauty. Also, these are about 1/10 of the price, but it is up to you as to what you want to do. That's a really nice shade. And then they also have the highlighter in the series. This is a shade, it doesn't have the same foot, so it has a typical doe foot. I'm going to put that on the back of my hand as opposed to straight on my face, and just work it into a brush and just tap it. You can see it's just gripped a little bit there, which I don't want. And easy enough to stop that. I'm just going over the top with my sponge. What I will say, right, I've got a balm on, I've got full coverage powder on, and I've just put liquids on there. That has not disrupted, and obviously I put too much on and went straight over that. Not a problem at all. Like, at all. It hasn't disrupted the makeup underneath it. So, and again, it's just, this is probably a product that you should put on with a sponge. So now we'll go in with the powder version of product. So this is the Sunside bronzer in the shade Morning Beam. You can see it's not a dark bronzer. We're getting into winter now. This might be a bit light for the makeup that I'm wearing right now, but if you are a paler lassie, this is not orange. If you are pale and neutral and you hate being turned orange with a slighter shade, this is a really good bronzer to prevent that. So just going in. And you can see, like, I'm just getting a hint of warmth without it being orange. And this has got a big dent in it. So I went to town with this when I got it. It's a good bronzer. Like, look, it's just a really nice, really nicely warmed around my face. I've just got a nose contour pencil, brush. Can I just tell you, as I film this is My husband's actually out driving. If you've been following along to the saga, we know that's a big deal. It's the second time he's driven in 5 weeks. It is the first 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6. It is the first time I've had home alone in all that time. Oh. So they've got a few different types of powder blushes. I'm going to show you 3 of the different ones. So they have this is called the Metallic Glow Blush. I want to say it's the shade Gravity, I think, reading it. So it's got this really interesting pattern to it that is raised, almost mosaic. That is the shade. It's gorgeous. They also have these ones that are called Love Slice. This, gosh, what shade is this? This is a shade called Don't Pink Twice. This became a bit of a viral product, all to do with the Dior shade, because look at that. And this is about a 20th of the price of Dior. Like, come on. It is pigmented. But what they also have, and what I'm going to use today, because it's got 2 products in one, is it's called the Glam Highlighter Blush Hybrid Duo. This is in the shade Saint Tropez. It's small. So this is quite a neutral colour. And then this wavy. Again, I don't know why I'm showing you on here, because the light bounces off my pasty white arm. So I'm going to get a fluffy blush brush, because it is a powder. So this is a bit fluffier than what I use on my creams. And just look at that. So all the products I've used so far, I actually really, really love. It's been a long time since I've used any of them, actually, just because of the sheer amount that I have. But oh, that is nice. Nice. And going in now with this highlighter. And it's just going to intensify that liquid one that we used. Now, if you have texture, avoid the cream product. So, but this, the cream highlighter will enhance any texture that you have. This powder does not. So that is where we are. It's a really nice base. So eyebrows. I have 2 different eyebrow pencils. I'm not exactly sure of the shades or the actual name of them. I will look them up and link them below. They are both, I have wiped my hands, but you'll still be able to see it. These are both sort of ashy, sort of cool tone bases. They're not too warm. This one is a bit lighter, I want to say. It is waterproof though. What are we going with my... And we might use that one. The other one isn't waterproof. Both of them I've had for a long, long time and used them a fair bit. They're starting to dry out, so they do need to be thrown out in actual fact. This is very reminiscent of one of the NYX brow pencils in that it's an angled brush. It's not a micro brow one. It's a larger brush. And it is super, super easy to use. And as you can see, there is no warmth. Like, it's completely neutral, which I love. I would actually, both of these eyebrow pencils, I would look at repurchasing, because they are great products and super easy to use. I am not going to lie. Like, I could nearly do that without looking in the mirror, to be quite honest. Spoolie on the end of each of them. As I said, this one is waterproof. So we are in winter. Good thing to have. Now I'm just going to prime my eyes with matte paint pot. As per usual, it'll be fair to the product that I'm about to put on it. So I'll be right back. So I've prepped my eyes. I have now 4 palettes, eyeshadow palettes in front of me. I've got more than that. I picked up a heap when I didn't order with them a long time ago. I've really got to stop frowning. So I have these, all are currently available. This is the To Die For palette. Now, what I will say about them, if you have used, pretty much, are they as good a quality as Colourpop? They're not bad quality. If you've used any of the Sports Girl palettes in Australia, I don't know if these come out of the same factory. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But like this one's got a really unusual, I've smushed it out, but it's got a really unusual shimmer in it. We're not using that. Then we've got the Rhapsody palette. I see so much of the Huda palettes in this. Not using that. Just because I'm thinking about what I've got on, and I'm trying to think about what is most versatile for people. So that leaves us with Mauvelous and Nude Beginnings. And I think that's really nice, but I think I'm going to go pretty darn natural today. I don't even think I've used this. I think I've only swatched it. So given that there's a lot of new palettes out on the market at the moment, this has 3 true mattes, I want to say. So this shade here, this one, and this one are true mattes. These are shimmery satins. They're not a true shimmer. They're more satin. Again, I'm going on my arm. Let's see. They're not as shimmery as some others. I might have to start doing that on the palm of my hand. Is probably the easiest way, I think. So given that these are the 3 mattes. I need to get a clean brush is what I need to do. I want to say it's brush cleaning day, and it sort of is. I've got half a little bag there full of them, but I've got more brushes. I'm in the process of having a few days off, so I will get in here and clean up. I cannot read the shades as per usual, so let's just get to it. Going into the lightest matte, looking straight ahead. And if you wonder why sometimes I just work on one eye and then the other, or sometimes I go between the two, it's because if I'm unfamiliar with the pigment and I put it on and I think it's going to be a bit more pigmented than I thought, like I just did then, I'm like, do I want it to be that dark? Probably not, so I've spread it across both. And then I can go back in and add more to it once I get a bit more of an understanding out of it. So just working in small circular motions, going back in now. And it's allowing me to just build that up. I'm not going to use all the colours. I'm not going to go too crazy. It's going to be a pretty simple look. And in fact, probably only going to use one more shade in the mattes and then one of the shimmers. Because, let's be honest, what's good about these is that if you're traveling as well and if you have expensive palettes and you don't want to take expensive palettes away because they can get damaged, they can get lost, you can leave them behind if you've done a lot of shopping and you don't want to bring home a heap. It's not going to matter too much. So that's looking quite nice. So I'm just going in now. These are the other two mattes. You see, this is so cool toned. And then that, I think I'm going in with this one. I really like this taupey colour, but I'm just looking at the shades that are on me. Actually, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'm going in with this now. And just going on the outer corner. On the other side, this will need a bit of work. This is wanting to grip a bit. That's okay. And again, going back in and just building up that shadow. There we go. That's what I wanted. I just need a little building up. So I've probably got excess product on my brush right now. I've built it up to where I want to clean off the brush and just work that product now, because it's got the depth in the base that I wanted, and if that starts to fade away as we buff out, it'll build up really quickly if we go back in and re-layer it. That's not a problem. So you don't really have to worry sometimes if you're buffing away the shadow, because you've got the base there, so it'll build up. Okay. It didn't take as much work as what I thought it would. Going back in with that first shade now, as we do, just around the edges, just to work that blend. And tilting my head back, I'm taking this across and to just underneath the brows. Not putting any more on the darker brush again, just going back, just working that edge. If you've been watching the videos, probably, I don't know if it's just because I'm going to use basically these couple of shades, but sometimes I have to work a lot harder than I have done with these, truth be told. Now, that's all the shimmers. That's definitely the way to go. Hey, putting stuff on my hand and not on my glowing reflective white light of an arm. So that's the shades. You know what? I think... Right, let's do the center one. Oh, I'm already having regrets, but that's okay. That wasn't the look I was going for, but it's a look I've committed to. I should have gone the lighter one that I thought in the first place. There's nothing wrong with this, don't get me wrong. It just wasn't what I wanted. In all reality, I was wanting to go a bit lighter. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually that shade that I should have gone with. Let's see if this lightens it up. And it does. Do I feel like I currently have a lot of makeup on? Yeah, I do. With 2 full cover foundations on. Let's just put them all on, shall we? I'll trowel off the layers later. So I've just put a nude eyeliner in my waterline. I didn't have one from here. I'm just going to line under my eyes. I'm going to go in just using the same shades. Just going to go in with the darker of the 2 mattes that I used. I will say I can notice a little bit of creasing under my eye at the moment, but I'm about to fix that by buffing out with this lighter shade. So now going in with the lighter matte that I used for my transition. Just dragging along underneath both straight away. Now working it a little bit. And that really sort of blended itself. Cleaning off my brush now. Take off any excess product. And what this does is it buffs out any creases that I had under my eye, and it'll help set that. That creasing shouldn't come back now. I say it in every video, don't I? I say it because it's true. Did you see that? My head's so round, I've got to say. I really struggle with, I can wear sort of headbands like this, but sort of tied ones. And I like just to keep my hair off my face. My head, it was a running joke in my family for years that it was shaped like a basketball. It's round. It is round as round, and things don't grip underneath the back. Maybe it's a bit flat at the back, but it doesn't like to stay, nothing likes to stay gripping on it, and quite often things will flick back on my round head. Okay, this is the lightest. That's a really nice champagne. I'm going to use a small brush first, and I may go back in. No, I won't. I was going to say I may need to go back in with my little finger with this, but I actually don't need to. This brush is working fine with it. So that is where we are at. Let's go. We might go this lipstick. We may even put a bit of that on there afterwards. What I'm going to do first though is give my face one last soaking of setting spray to re-put some hydration back into it now that I've put more powders on top, and before I do mascara and lips, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are down to the last few products. This is it's a dual-ended mascara. I'm not sure of the name of it. Again, it'll be linked below. So one side is curved, obviously for lengthening and lift, and then the other side is volumizing. Now I'm going to attempt to do this. I may end up stopping the camera. Actually, I'll do one coat on of each end on this side, and then I'll do the rest off camera. I normally, this has got, what I will say with this curved side is quite spiky, and these kinds of brushes, I always end up spiking myself in the eye with them, making my eyes water. So, wriggle, wriggle, then hook it up this way to really, this really gives you some nice length and lift, but it doesn't give you a lot of volume. And when you say one coat, it doesn't matter how many times I flick my lashes with it. One coat is considered one dip into your mascara. So you can see that's got some nice individual length, but it hasn't got a lot of volume. So going in with the volume side now to add to it. Now, should this mascara be thrown out by now? Abso-bloody-lutely. I've had it forever and a day, so it could be a little bit dry. But as long as it serves the purpose that we need, right? So that is the difference between the two sides, yeah? I'm just going to do the other side now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done both eyes now. It's a really nice mascara. Again, this is a product that is great for traveling with, because during the day, if you're wearing mascara, this lengthening side is really, really good in that you don't want to have too intense lashes. And then if you want to amp it up for night time, use the thickening shade. It's really nice. Okay, so this bullet lipstick is the shade Deep Under. I've just scrubbed at my lips. I haven't got any lip liner on. And it's super creamy. Really creamy. That's nice. That actually doesn't feel like a cheap lipstick. It looks pretty matte on the lips, but it doesn't feel drying like a matte. It feels like a satin cream lipstick. This is the shade Vetiver in the, I don't want to put this on, but I'm going to. And that feels really moussey. Yeah, it feels moussey, sort of powdery. I think the lipstick is better than that liquid. It's not a liquid lip, it's like a lip mousse. But that is it. I mean, look at my face. My face does not look like it's super cheap products. Like, we all know SHEIN, Sheglam, super, 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 super cheap. And I really like the look. It's a gorgeous natural look. I would wear this. I would probably do a bit more with the eyes, maybe even deepen them a little bit if I was going out for a glam look. But this is a soft, natural glam look. I would not be worried. I know from wearing the foundations, both the balm and the powder, this does not get patchy. This does not break down. This will last you all day. Like, it's, yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this looks on the face. And in fact, I forgot how much I did love that balm in particular. But even, the duo of the highlighter and the powder all in one, the powder products are top notch. This would last me 15 hours easily. I know that for a fact because I have worn these products, not the eyeshadow, but all these products I have worn for long, long days. If you were going away on holidays and you didn't want to take expensive makeup for you, I could highly recommend it. As I said, I took that balm. That was the only foundation I took away with me for a week. And I'm about to go and have a shower and wash all of this off because it is, yeah, it's in the evening. It's dark outside. It's not a morning darkness at the moment. It's an evening darkness. It's been my first chance to play. What do you think? Let me know what you think about this. It's pretty, isn't it? Surely you agree. Like, anyway, that is it, my friends. Don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends to come along, check it out. This room is a mess, but I'm spending tomorrow cleaning, doing a bit of a clean. I'm going to sort all of this out. It's chaos. It's killing me. Until next time, my friends, take care. Bye.